Today, it's about taking inventory. My name is Rhonda, and I am the producer of this show, The Fresh Talks Global Vision. Welcome in. We've been building this group so big. It is we're around 11,000 or more, so I'm really excited to be able to be here with you. I'm also here if you want to ask any questions. So I've been coaching for about a little over 15 years. And I'm starting to do these live conversations and like what I get to experience, doing all this coaching and being here throughout the years. And I've been doing this show for almost 8 years now. I might even be on 9 years. And so let's just take inventory of where we are. I didn't know, like about 4 months ago, where I was, like mentally. Physically, I was feeling really lost. And I don't know about you, but really just dump it onto your plate and just check in how you're doing today. If you're feeling great, that means we have another level up that we can go. If you're struggling, add in your comments. Share with me your journey about learning to be this person that you can see. Let me give you the definition of what a visionary is. You are a person that you're standing here and you go, I should have already been here. I can see the steps, but I just can't get there. But I'm going to do everything I can. I'm going to work hard. I'm going to have a big task list. I'm going to be able to do what I need to do because I've always worked hard. I'm going to stay up all night long, every night, because that's what I do. And you may not do all that, but notice where your extreme in areas because you have this vision. And you've always gotten to your vision because you have worked your butt off. There's a point, though, when you get really exhausted. And that's a visionary, someone that you really actually can't sit in your space and see exactly where you are because you keep seeing how far you are away from your end goal. And this can be so challenging every day because you feel like you are failing. And so today I'm going to use is more of my business model, which you can't read, but I want to tell you there's 4 areas that I really want to go into that will help you. These plaques for me, they have helped me coach throughout the years. And this one I call the Diamond Moxy Sexy Wealthy Life and Business. And we're going to do the business pillar, but I have lifestyle and I also have health. So just get your journal, get everything that you can just to make sure you're ready for this conversation because I want some feeling that you're moving forward and not wasting your time here, but you're really getting that good stuff. I'm not going to just go surface level, so let's sit in and hunker in. Take a deep breath in and give yourself space to open up and expand. We're going to just spend probably no more than 15 minutes together, but give yourself space to be able to challenge yourself, see yourself, love on yourself. So by the time we're done, there's going to be some perhaps open space for you. And this morning, it's about 4 this morning where I felt like I had a really rough night. And have you had those nights before or weeks where you're knowing that you are a badass, but there is the crippling that can happen where you know that you can be somewhere where other than where you are. So let's take a step back and analyze that through these 4 steps right here. Open, fail safe, power, and superstar status. We're going to finish off with that. Okay, so the first thing is what we're doing here is the first word is open, and we're just opening our space and really being able to feel down into our nervous system. Something that gets you into truth the best that you can. When you breathe in almost as if you're going to your spine. You're going real deep into your innards. And you're playing with your nervous system. And your nervous system, when you're working really, really hard, your nervous system is doing this thing. Because it's trying to reset itself. And I'm bringing in 25 years plus in the health and wellness industry. So your nervous system is like, hey, I'm trying to reset myself. And so it'll keep doing this. But as you take a deep breath in and you really get in truth with that, you can feel when your body gets more calm than when we started. It doesn't have to be perfect, because as a visionary, you know exactly how you want to feel, but give yourself space with this. If you're doing better incrementally, that's going to make a massive difference. It's like vapors. As soon as we close off this window, you're going to have a bigger, bolder day if you keep stepping into this energy. I promise you, because I do a lot of mindset coaching, and I've done retreats at the Fresh Inspiration Ranch, my location, for years. And it's interesting because I usually do like a 2 to 3 day retreat, but I've been doing day retreats also, and it's wonderful to see the changes when people leave and then what happens after that also. And that's what my open space is here for us right now. So if you're open, then you're going to start seeing yourself and who you really are. I know what drives me in a way that's not very healthy, and it's shame. I mean, if somebody tells me I'm supposed to be doing something that's even better than what I'm doing, at first I can manage that. And I'll go and answer that and say, no, this is what I'm feeling, this is what I'm doing, and stuff like that. But if it keeps coming at me, somehow my shame can cripple me. And I'm learning about what my shame is. So today, I was doing my workout, I did a little bit of red light therapy, and I realized those are old patterns. And any time that I feel crippled in a situation, that really isn't me right now. Anybody feel anything about that? Like, truly, that is not who you are right now. And I have this window open over here so I can see if there's anybody asking any questions at all. So if you open up that space for yourself, then you start noticing how much you can love on yourself more. Because the next spot here of us being open and opening up that space and taking breaths and being in truth with ourselves is fail safe. To move forward, we can't hold ourselves tight and peek out a little bit and hope that there's nobody watching, so then you can, quietly do something. You're like, oh, but I didn't get enough attention. It's because you're kind of peeking out there going, I don't want to make too much of a mistake, so I'm just going to do it when it's low time. And I can remember when Facebook Live first started, like when they first started doing this stuff, I would put something out there that I was going to be doing something, and I was like, oh my gosh, when I go Facebook Live, they're going to expect me to make this transformation. How do I do it? But I knew how to do it. But that's where the shame and like putting myself out there and all that kind of stuff, that it was making me cripple. There are still things today that I can get in that space over and over and over again and get crippled. So my new thing today is, where do I get to go from here? When I started noticing this morning, here, wait, I caught on bigger. That's my old pattern of feeling shame or crippled. Moving forward, I actually don't have anything in my world that I really should be feeling shame. Everything that is in my past is in my past. But how do we breathe in and move forward? Allow yourself to fail. Get big and bold and just do all these new things. Because as a visionary, your brain won't stop. You'll keep on wanting to do all these different things. And that's what I do with my clients is I go, you go for it. I'm going to anchor everything together. I'm going to tether it together because you're doing this, this, and this. And normally when you work alone, you want to be just doing one thing and just stay focused with that. You don't want to confuse anybody. But I've been doing this for a while, so I'm telling people just go out there, and we're going to have coaching pretty much every week or whatever, and we're going to tether all that and see where that all lines up. So then you're saying all is one. Everything I'm doing, how do we propel ourselves forward, because we can really start seeing everything really is the same. There's just a couple different events going on, and you get to choose whatever you want. These are a couple of things that I'm doing, and you start communicating in a way that everybody that's excited about you, they're going to say, oh my gosh, they have this and this and this. This is awesome, because you start marketing very clean, and you start noticing how you're speaking to people, because you're like, hey, I'm just out here having fun. Anybody else want to come and have fun? And all of a sudden, the currency, the energy of the currency. Now, as a visionary, and it doesn't mean you own a business. I'm talking business because I'm a coach around business and health and wellness. but you don't even have to have a business. It's every day waking up and saying you're going to be doing certain things and you don't, and perhaps people around you will keep sharing with you how you fail. I say fail safe. How are you going to expand in your vision? And the opposite would be stay tight and just wrench everything down, stay closed off, and keep going your straight and narrow path. But what you miss, though, is that tightness. You're missing all the currency, all the energy around that. You're missing all those relationships that people want to hang out with you, but they don't know how to hang out with you. They don't know how to hang out with you because they don't understand what is going on because you're so tight. But if you're in the fail-safe spot, then that's going to increase your power of who you are. And not power in the head, because when you start opening yourself up and you start feeling that you're not failing, but it's a fail-safe, then you go, dang, I just did that, and that event wasn't as good as I wanted it to be, or I said something that was not something that was in alignment with me, or I was just doing some chaotic stuff, and let's just put that aside, let's just keep moving forward. Then you're exponentially moving forward fast, and that's where you start building your power. Power is about momentum, moving forward, knowing that you got this, no matter if you don't have it 100%. And what I learned from my best friend Anna, who transitioned out of life about 3 years ago, I realized that I was holding on to stuff too tight. And I started opening myself up. I started being loosey-goosey, but I was still very serious about what I was doing. But on the outside, it looked very playful. But I was clearing myself and being very serious about my direction, where I was going. But there were still things happening for me that was slowing me down. I couldn't get in my power. So what I would do is I would fester in the people that were around me kept telling me I was wrong. I was, just my old habits. I brought people in telling me I was ugly, I was wrong, I wasn't right, and I was crazy, and these things. And I thought that was kind of normal because those are my old patterns. And I realized now it's like, I feel strong again. I feel safe again. I feel loved. I can tell myself everything's going to be okay. I start becoming more of my partner because as a visionary, you really can beat yourself up in all your old patterns. So with being in the power, if you get too much in the head, you're going to really mess yourself up because the cerebral, the ego is going to be telling you everything you're doing wrong. But what if you get in the space and you start noticing that everything you're doing is a learning experience? And the leverage comes from watching things happen in a space that's different. Something that's different. Just a sign, a little sign that says things are moving forward. Then you start trusting yourself more. Then that power and that energy and the experience of where you need to be, you can feel the energy of where you should be. I mean, should be meaning that that's where you start building your business. That's where you start building your relationships. And that's where you start building the internal power within yourself and never letting anybody ever naysay you. And it's okay if they go out there and they share things with others because they have the story in their head. And that means you're in the ego if you allow that to mess with you. But don't let it do that. Don't let it do that. Keep moving forward. Leave those people behind that you're ready to leave behind. And the ones you aren't ready to leave behind, do your work. Do your mental work. Do your meditation. Do your writing in your journal. Get things out. Look at your patterns. A good exercise. What pattern am I in today? And I would say be aware of your patterns and then about your limiting belief and translate it to how that's affecting you. And then just to understand where that came from. I'm looking at my little strategy here. And if you don't always have to know where it came from, because what we're going to say is you're not going to blame anybody. There is no way that you can blame somebody else for where you are right now as an adult. You can have the experience and the patterns, maybe generational stuff that comes kind of coming to you, and you go, "Oh, I'm breaking generational patterns." But it's a smile. It's like, okay, I got this. In this coaching industry, I know we talk a lot of stories about our past and, what brought us here. But we want everybody around us to know that we still love them. We're not calling anybody else out. And if you are, I want you to really see yourself and your truth and why you're doing what you're doing, because you got to be careful. You don't want to hurt anybody else through this journey, because we become more open and vocal about our journey, and some people can translate it to something that's not very healthy, which we're trying to blame somebody else. But we got to take ownership, man, because if we start blaming somebody else, that pattern will get us in a space of talking bad about somebody, thinking we don't have control over the power over our space, and that will really affect the freedom and the safety and healing. All of those are really important to see where you are in your freedom, your safety, and your healing. And that has to do with business, lifestyle, and health. And again, if you don't have a business, you just kind of skip over that. But that can be anything from retirement, what you do every day, to your personal life. See where you are. So we're almost done here. We went through an open space to open yourself up, fail safe, which I really liked. I love that. And then power, really owning your power. The next one is superstar status. So let me finish this and break the bubble of the ego and really get more into your heart about loving on yourself more. And it is around the superstar status. But you got to be here. Superstar status is that you are a visionary. You know exactly where you are. So I'm going to give you the definition of what a visionary is. You know exactly where you are. And you're like, oh, the muck is here. I don't want to be here. I'm in the wrong place. I'm supposed to be over here. Well, if you open yourself up to where you are right now, gratitude starts building. Inside your body starts healing, because you stop being at yourself about everything, anything and everything. You start being able to feel energetically how you're affecting your body. Brain. The hypothalamus within your brain is speaking so much to your body. When your body is being spoken to of those words, they just come at you, your sabotage words. I'm not going to say them because those words can be very demeaning, and I don't want to trigger anybody, and I for sure don't want to trigger myself, because it's been a hard morning before I got to the gym, and I'm ready to rock forward, and I want to make sure you feel that way too. But it is about knowing what the brain chemically does to the body, because we're on a whole energy system, an endocrine system. And since we're an energy system, to keep everything working and flowing, and we can call those the meridians, we can call it the cleansing pathways, but your body works on a system. And it's not just the organ by itself doing stuff. They all actually have to communicate, because that's how things get processed. The brain tells the body how to process it. If your brain, the hypothalamus, because there's all parts of your brain doing all these different things, but we want this all cohesive. We want the heart, so the strength within the mind comes together. But while you're working on that, the hypothalamus in your brain is doing those patterns over and over and over. And they will release certain chemicals based on if you're angry. It's going to go right at your liver. It's going to go right at your pancreas. It's going to go right at your gallbladder. Anybody not have a gallbladder anymore? It could be that you've been shut down from anger. Your hypothalamus keep coming in and just chemically throwing these words and phrases, these 60,000 words that we say to ourselves a day. That's known pattern. 60,000 words we say to ourselves a day. And if it's all anger, like shutdown and anger, sometimes anger looks, oh, I just give up. And that's part of the anger part. Then once we pull that off, we start saying, but I want to feel like a superstar. And superstar definition, freedom, safety, and healing. I want to feel like I'm present, not thinking about anybody else except what is present right here and what I need to do what's right here in front of me. So if you are having patterns where you're speaking and there's a lot of shame going on, that goes right to your stomach. That's your hypothalamus releasing chemicals right into the stomach. And that's when you can be eating so perfectly, but you still have brown marks on your skin that won't go away. You still have lines all over your face because you're just gaunt and you're just pushing and pulling on yourself. Be aware that whatever goes in here, you're speaking to your body. The way to get to superstar status is to understand that where you are is perfect. That's the spot that you are growing from. And every day you're going to move. And as a visionary, you're going to have patterns that are going to push you way out here saying, you should have been there, you should do that. Why are you not there yet? You didn't meet your goal. And you're going to start framing it in a different way. You'll start noticing that you're going to say, here, wait, I had 10 things I wanted to do, and that's overdoing it. And that's you expecting to be perfect, expecting to do everything right. And that's probably a pattern that you have, because as visionaries, we probably come from perfectionism. Because we're trying to protect ourselves because we think everything's wrong, so I'm supposed to be there. So think about when that pattern starts happening so that you can be in gratefulness where you are right now. Notice all the things you're doing. Don't take anything for granted. Gratitude opens up the heart, and that's the spot where the healing happens. This is where it can calm the hypothalamus, and you can get into all parts of the brain. Because 5% is where this all energy is, and you can be shut down so big. And that's why sometimes you only have energy of 5% in your brain, because 95% is just getting thrown and tossed into the body, and that is where ailments start happening. Health and wellness does get affected by mindset. You bring all that together with the conversation today, and you got yourself a rockin' good time. So we talked about open, fail-safe, power, superstar. We specifically talked about business, but we could easily go into lifestyle with it too. Everything we talked about, it tethers together, and that's how it works. So I'll be here every Friday. And if I'm not, I'll take a note and tell you that, this Friday I won't be here doing blah, blah, blah. So this is hashtag Speaker Locking Arms. This is about us opening our voice. If you ever feel like you're out there and you're trying to figure out how to get there, just recognize where you are and those steps will come to you. A coach is really important in that, to be able to do a sounding board. And that's what I've been doing for years. I am here for you. Let's keep locking arms, opening our voice so that we can stop the blaming and shaming within ourselves and, of course, with others. We accidentally do that if we're feeling it. I think it should be this way, and we project it on somebody else. So let's get our healing in first. My humanitarian project right now, I have a board that I put together, and we're really getting ready to launch even bigger. And our board, we actually renamed it, and we're relaunching based on more of like a whimsical lightness, because I'm thinking we're going to get more stuff done because this world needs more light space. So this is where we're going to start playing with these words: laugh, love, explore, kind, gentle, powerful, creative, insightful, playful, imagination, light, spark, joy. We're going to play with something with this. And we need to. It's our time to not be stuck and tight with all the crud going on out there, and see within ourselves and recognize that we are super bad ass people. I love you so much, and I hope you enjoyed this conversation, and I will catch up with you soon. There will be a link that I'll get to you at some point to be able to opt in so that you can be part of our humanitarian conversations. Because if you want to find lightness in your world, and you know that the human condition right now is not doing so well, I see myself in Venice, Italy in 3 years, live with people, and even before that, probably within a year, we'll be in San Francisco. So we have this incredible experience that's going to be happening. I know you'll want to be part of it if this really means something to you. We want to change as humans for ourselves, and we really want that to project out in this world to have just a more positive life, even though, again, there's a lot of crud going on. If you're just getting this now, make sure you get to the beginning, because you are going to finish off with your superstar status today as a visionary. Love you. Add your comments. Namaste.